Hey guys, I never say hello to you guys whenever I start these videos, so I'm gonna start changing that today. Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new here, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that whole bit.
Why did I just say that?
What I meant to say was, if you guys have spent any time at all on the internet consuming any book content, which if you guys clicked on this video, I'm assuming this is not your first rodeo, but you're probably already familiar with the idea of a reading journal. I've been keeping a reading journal kind of since 2022, but I've actually never been able to fully keep up with it. So since 2022, I still don't have a full journal. This is 2 years worth of reading journals right here, and I think I barely used half of this thing, and I just kind of want to show you guys some of the spreads that I have on here. I love doing these like book tracker type of spreads where you just draw bookshelves and books and then you write the title of the books you've read on those books. But as you guys can see, this first one right here from 2022, I never even finished doing the outline for them. This was when I realized that I really hate having to use a straight edge, and there's a lot of straight lines on this page in particular. So I just have these like super simple spreads. Here I didn't really know what I wanted to do. For February, I did another very simple, very doodly type of page. For book spread, I did pretty much the same thing, but I made it smaller. And then this page right here, I never even finished sketching it out, but I think I was supposed to do like a tower of books here. I don't know actually what my idea was for that, but it never happened clearly because it's pretty much blank. We skipped a whole bunch of months because I just like was not enjoying what I was doing with the journals. I was like, whatever. And then in September, for some reason, creativity struck and I was like, you know what? I have an idea. This spread is more my style for reading journals. I love doing these very doodly type of spreads, and it's messy, but it's cute. You know what I mean? I even made like a really fun TBR page. I had this idea that I was gonna color in the books as I read them. I never did that, obviously. This is when I started doing the book cover thing, and I really love doing this. I tried doing it a little bit more creatively in this one, made it look like a playlist type of thing. I really like this actually. I'm gonna try to implement this again in a future reading journal spread. And then here for October, I was being really extra. I don't know what was going on. I use an X-Acto knife and everything to like cut out this little flap right here. I didn't know what to do with the back, so I just did days read. I never actually filled out all of it. I'm pretty sure I read most of the days. And then I did this cute little October page. This is fun. I really love doing these like flaps. I think it's called a Dutch door when you like cut a page in half so you can like peek on the other side. This is a more like extra way of doing a Dutch door, I guess. For October, I did the same thing with the book covers. I really enjoyed doing that. I actually really like this one as well. The spiders and the papers that I used. This was when I was really having fun with my reading journal. And then this next spread right here, this is probably one of my favorite spreads I've ever made. It's just an X-Hex spread. I loved this book so much that I thought that I wanted to do a whole spread on it. I freehanded the title, I drew this lamppost, and I drew this cauldron thing. I don't know, this was just so fun. And then I did my very first Vampathon spread for 2022. I also really enjoy how I did this. If you're not familiar with Vampathon, it's a readathon that some girlies here on booktube host in October. All of the prompts are here on the book bingo, and you try to get a bingo every year, which is, it's just like a fun way to like participate in a readathon. And then after that, I did another quite extra spread for November. I tried doing like a days read tracker again. I was really adamant on doing a days read tracker back then. I was supposed to color in each of these mushrooms for every single day that I read, and I'm pretty sure I read most days in November, but I just like never kept up with it, so half of these are uncolored. I also for some reason decided to do 2 of the mushrooms in the front a purplish bluish color. I don't know what I was thinking. I never filled out a bunch of these apparently. My pages read, words read, all of those things. Never kept up with it. And then I did the book cover thing again. And then after that, I did my end of the year TBR for 2022. As you guys can see, I read 2 of them. So that was fantastic. And then I also did a series tracker because I was in the middle of so many series. I still am in the middle of so many series. We'll get to that in a minute. And then I did a 9th house spread. I actually don't love this spread, but it's okay. This is when I realized that I really hate printing stuff, cutting stuff, and then having to paste it all together. Because when you have to cut stuff out, make a lot of mess. Here we have my Good Girl's Guide to Murder spread, another very simple spread. And then I did my Empire of the Vampire spread, which I actually really dislike this spread. I freehand these titles. And for this one, as you guys can see, I didn't leave enough space for the E, so it's cut off over there. And then I did one for Icebreaker as well. This one I actually really love. This was a very Bob Ross happy accident type of moment. I printed out these photos that I wanted to use, and my printer, I guess, was running out of ink, or I don't know, something was wrong with it. There's like lines through them. It kind of reminded me of like old school film. So I was like, wait, what if I do film strips? So that's kind of what I did with them. This is my whole December thing. I drew a fun little gingerbread house, which I actually hate the color of brown that I used on this. And then I was still doing the Days Red thing here. I also didn't keep up with it. I only read 4 books that month. I was in a slump. 2023 in books. Wait, what? No, 2022 in books. I made a little mistake there. Oh, I also did a book bracket because I saw a bunch of people doing this in their book journals to like kind of see like what their favorite book of the year is. A Man Called Juve is my favorite book of 2022. That is to no surprise if you've been here before. Moving on to the 2023 part of this journal. I didn't even finish the title page. There's a theme here of me either biting off more than I can chew, or me thinking that I'm gonna take a break and then come back to it later, but never actually doing that. I didn't even finish the 2, but I was gonna do this like hyper realistic mylar balloons, you know, like the gold foiled helium balloons for each of the letter. It took so much time to just do that too, and I didn't even finish it. There's not a lot of tooth to this paper. I used colored pencils here. If you guys are not familiar with working with colored pencils, you want a little bit of tooth to your paper so you can layer it, because if there's no tooth, you can't layer it as much. It just becomes waxy and it doesn't blend. That was a struggle. I don't know, this whole thing is a joke. This sets the tone for basically how my 2023 reading journal is gonna go. This 2023 anticipated release is Friday. This is more my speed. I only used the pen and a couple of markers to color in the clouds and everything. Next page over here is another of these book tracker thing. As you guys can see, I also stopped filling it out. I had this grand idea of drawing an entire scenery out of these windows. Drawing that scenery required me to go back, get out my supplies again, and draw it out because I didn't want to do it all in one go. An example of me biting off way more than I can chew. I'm not even gonna show these next couple of spreads because they are disgusting. Let's move on to this one. The books purchased per month. I also stopped filling this out in February, so that's wonderful. I did these like Dutch door things. I really like how this turned out. I never wanted to pick up this journal at a certain point because it started to get overwhelming. I knew there were like so many spreads that I missed filling out. I knew there were so many spreads that I was like, oh, I need to go back to that and finish that. My favorite books of the month and favorite book of the year spread, not a single picture on it. 23 books to read in 2023. I read a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, so that's great. The next page I have my 2023 goals and a reflection page that I never filled out. I was supposed to do a whole reflection on my reading year at the end of the year. And then this one, my 5-star Hall of Fame. I never finished this door. This was supposed to be like a gilded wooden door type of look. I just never wanted to take my markers out. And I also only had like 8 5-star reads last year, so this is obviously way too much space. For my January spread, I just was doing this very scrapbooky style with like printed out stuff. I don't love this, but I don't hate this either. Books that I read per month. Over here, I was supposed to do an entire City of Lost Souls spread, but I, again, was waiting for the time when I actually felt like printing stuff out and cutting them out. Never happened, clearly. I did my 5-star prediction spread, and I read 1 book from my 5-star predictions. That is so bad, but at least it was a 5 stars. Anyway, I did my 5 survive spread, which I also really don't love the way that turned out. And over here, I was supposed to do a secret history spread, and this was supposed to be the best spread ever because I love the secret history and I had so many grand ideas, but a lot of those ideas involved, guess what? Printing pictures out and cutting them out. After that, I was also supposed to do an Addicted series spread that, guess what? Requires pictures to be printed out and cut out. So it never happened either. A Pure Nessie spread never happened either. And then I did my February month, and I actually really like how this one turned out. I was using like stickers and stuff, and I just did a lot of doodles. Then these are all of the books that I read for that month. And then this is kind of when everything just falls apart. I stopped using this journal. So here I have my March, reads. This is supposed to be filled with book covers of books that I read in March. I never printed them out. My April reads, I never even finished the spread at all. May, oh my gosh, May was supposed to be this really fun ocean theme. I did all the doodles, but I never colored them in because I didn't want to take out my art supplies to go do that. June was supposed to be a balloon theme. Never did it. July was supposed to be like a squiggly, colorful theme. Clearly never did it. I did do it for this page, for my physical TBR page, but I really hated how this turned out. I hate these colors together. This was supposed to be a really cute spread had I finished it. This is supposed to be like a spooky summer books and films spread because there's nothing I love more than a summer slasher and a summer horror. And I was also reading a bunch of like summery horror books at the time, and I was just loving the vibe, so I thought that I would do a spooky summer spread. This little popsicle down here is supposed to be candy corn colored, but I never colored it in. I have a little bat umbrella. I did color in this ice cream that looks like a devil thing. I never printed out the things that I wanted to print out for it because guess what? I hate printing stuff out and cutting them out. That's the theme here. Oh my god, I was supposed to do this happy place spread. I have my ideas sketched out and everything. This was mostly going to be a drawing spread. I just didn't want to get out my supplies to go do this. My September one, never even finished it either. That's pretty much it for the entire 2023. This half sketched out page right here. This was supposed to be my 2024 reading journal, but as I was kind of planning out my spreads and everything, I realized that I was running into the same exact issues that I had run into in 2022 and 2023. I was putting off setting up my reading journal for 2024 because
I didn't want to print stuff out and cut them out and paste them.
I have to take out a bunch of art supplies in order to just make one spread. And that comes with a lot of mess afterwards that I just absolutely hate having to clean up. And frankly, I don't have time to like spend like 30 minutes cleaning up every time that I wanted to go journal. That's why I had so many unfinished spreads for those past 2 years. For 2024, I've decided that I'm going to be doing a digital reading journal instead. Obviously, nothing is really going to beat having a physical reading journal and having a tangible end product that you can flip through at the end of the year. And I won't be able to do the cool little Dutch store spreads that I love to do, but I'm willing to compromise all of that for the sake of convenience and so that I can actually have a finished reading journal at the end of the year. And I think a lot of the issues that I've been having can be answered by just doing everything digitally. So let's get into my actual 2024 reading journal. So as you guys can see, just reading journal right there. This is my 2024 cover page right here. It is a bit busy. Some of the elements that I have on here are part of the digital sticker pack that I bought. These are part of it. These washi tape looking things are part of it. Even the background that I use on here has like this craft paper type of texture, which is really nice. Some of these photos are just from Pinterest. And then moving on to the next page, which is our reading tracker page. I love this page so much. It's very much inspired by Katie's reading journal, the way that she does her reading trackers. I just really like the way that she does it. I think it's really pretty and very simple, which is key here. I didn't use a straight edge, even though it's much easier to actually use a straight edge digitally. I want this reading journal to still be similar to how I would do it physically, except without all of the hassle, you know? This entire page is pretty much done on Procreate. I just uploaded it on here. I have my pen, my eraser, and my highlighter colors on here. I could just easily fill it in right now if I weren't screen recording without having to take anything else out but my iPad and my trusty Apple Pencil. That is so convenient and it's just perfect for me. And then over here I did my reading goals page and then my 2024 TBR page as well in one go. I mean in one page, in one spread. Pretty much did this whole thing on Procreate as well, except these stars that I drew, these like little star doodles and these like little squigglies, I did those on Goodreads. I keep on saying Goodreads. When I say Goodreads, just know that I mean GoodNotes. These right here, this is the best part of this. I can do the book cover thing and have them all in one page, but I don't have to print print them out and cut them out. That is perfect. I love that. Moving on to my next spread. This is my monthly fave spread. This entire spread, I did all of it here on GoodNotes. These like blank Polaroid looking things. That is part of a sticker pack that I bought. And I literally just typed each month. I'm obsessed with this font right now. This is the Folklore font and you can get it from thefont.com for free. And I've been using that all over this journal if you guys are curious about that font. Anyways, this is self-explanatory. I'm just gonna pick my favorite book for each month and I'm gonna put the book cover in the spots here, you know? And then moving on to my series tracker, as you guys can see here, that's a lot. This is also a very simple spread. I didn't want to do anything super busy with this one because I knew that I was gonna have to write a lot on here because I'm reading a lot of series right now. All of this is created here on GoodNotes. These are some of the series that I really want to start reading this year or I want to like reread. Moving on to the next spread, which is my new releases spread. I created this spread on Procreate. Obviously, I'm just filling them out as I go. For January, these are the new releases that I'm excited about. I write the date that they're going to release that month and then I color it in with a highlighter if I've either pre-ordered it or if I already got it the last half of the year. There's a lot of books that still haven't been announced, so that's pretty much blank. And then moving on to my physical TBR page. Okay, I need like multiple of these pages. I have way too many books on my physical TBR. I'm actually not done filling it in. I just created this whole spread on Procreate and then I have this whole page that I haven't filled out. Pretty sure I'm gonna need at least one more page, but I can easily add that later. This is like a good thing about having a digital reading journal is if I don't read all of the books on my physical TBR in 2024, I can just easily transfer these pages to my 2025 reading journal without having to recreate the whole thing. Then over here, this is going to be my books bought each month page, another very simple page. As you guys can see, these are all the books that I've already bought in January. I'm numbering the ones that count towards the books that I haven't read yet. These books I've already read, or I read them right away in the case of Heartstopper, so it doesn't count. Airfire I bought, but I haven't read yet, so I'm counting it right now. But if I get to it soon enough, I'm not going to count it because I'm going to want to buy the next book in the series. You know what I mean? Either way, this is just going to be a way for me to keep track of every book that I buy each month. At the end of the year, I can get a comprehensive look at it. Next up over here, we have my January spread. Like I said, I'm obsessed with this font right here. I just did a calendar because I didn't know what to put here. T-Swift reference over here because why not? I have my TBR on here. Next up is my books read in January page, another very doodly page that I did on Procreate just very quickly. I think I did this in like 5 minutes. I've already read 5 books. I still need to add Spy Family Volume 10 on here. I can easily add another page if I need another one, but you know, this is what I have so far. Those are all of the spreads that I have so far. I'm gonna take you guys onto my Procreate really quickly so I can show you some spreads that I'm currently working on. The first spread that I have on here is this Sarah J Maas spread. These are like her series that I want to read this year. Still, I'm not done with this. I still want to add some more elements on here. I pretty much do most of the journaling on Procreate. Over here, I also have my Shadowhunter spread. Obviously, not done with this as well. Have to add a bunch of other stuff. These envelopes down here and like the flowers and all of that. This is part of that sticker pack that I bought. I wrote W. Herondale on there. If you know, you know. So yes, that is my 2024 reading journal. That's how I'm planning on doing it this year. And so far, I'm really enjoying it so much more than an actual physical reading journal, which I think is the most important part. I'm actually so excited to do more spreads now because I'm not dreading the cleanup afterwards. There you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see more journaling content, let me know in the comments down below. That's gonna be it for now. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys on the next one. Toodles.